It is here right at 10:11 a.m. here on Wednesday, March 4th. As we do have a quorum, I do hereby call this annual meeting of the Industrial Development Board to order. Moving on to item number 2, public comment period. The Industrial Development Board holds a designated public comment period at each meeting. Members of the public in attendance may provide comments to the board or its committees during such a designated time. Members of the public are allotted 2 minutes for public comment. No advance registration is required. Is there anyone here from the public wishing to speak today? All right, seeing as how there is no one here from the public wishing to speak today, we will close the public comment period. Moving on to item number 3, approval of prior meeting minutes. Those were included in your packet that was sent out. And I want to thank Jamari and team for putting that together for everyone's review. I'll give everyone a quick moment to take a look at that. And while we're taking a look at that, I did mean just as an update, share this with the board. At the end of December, I did have to sign some paperwork related to sound waves at Opryland. You all were not on the board then, but that was one of the more recent pilots that this board approved. In that legislation, as part of those pilot agreements, the IDB holds title to the property, but once the pilot ends, we're required to remit that property officially back to the owner. So again, nothing that requires a vote, just sharing that with you all for transparency purposes. And again, this is for sound waves at Opryland.
So the pilot ended and it's now...
Yeah, the pilot is ended. That is correct. All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our January 7th meeting. All right, we have a motion by Board Member Yankee. Is there a second? All right, we have a second by Board Member Wright. Thank you. It's properly seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. Let the record show the chair abstained. Moving on to item number 4, approval of Tennessee ECD state grants. Again, with these grants, we've done this before. These grants are funded by the state. Essentially, the IDB and Metro serve as a pass-through where we give the funds provided by the state to the company, but these still do require our vote and approval for state law. I will say this very quick before, and we have a representative on here. One of the more recent deals we did was Rock Nashville, which is out in Whites Creek, which was, I don't know, was anybody else able to attend the grand opening?
Yeah,
You were there. Okay, it was a lot of people there.
there were a lot of people. I roamed around.
It was.
Got a free baseball hat.
What did you think about it?
It's intense. It's great.
Yeah.
Particularly impressed with what the potential is for both small businesses touring and larger businesses
For sure.
displaying.
Yeah, if you get a chance, it's really, really awesome. And just bring that up because that fits in with also what Jamari talked about in the ad hoc about the focus on entertainment as well. But it's really phenomenal. I thought it was great, especially for the small businesses, to have all those small businesses in one place. And candidly, if those businesses were somewhere else, they'd probably be paying a lot more in rent. So being there in that huge space opportunity, but really awesome. So we'll get some pictures out for that, but really cool event. So anyway, we have a representative with the state here. So if you will, you can stay right there if you will. Just introduce yourself first, and then we'll take these one by one. Scoring stages is the one that's in Berry Hill, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so we'll start with that one first because that's the order on our agenda. And then I will turn it over to you. Just give us a brief thing on number of jobs. And
Okay.
I know this one's $5 million
Yes.
amount.
So I'm Bob Raines. I'm the executive director for the Tennessee Entertainment Commission. The Tennessee Entertainment Commission sits under the Department of Economic and Community Development, and we oversee, the entertainment industry here and building the entertainment industry here in the state of Tennessee. The grants that we are using are called the Emerging Industry Development Business Grant. That is, mainly focused on trying to look at unique infrastructure pieces for the music industry and film industry here in the state of Tennessee. The Berry Hills scoring stages, it's going to be located in Columbine Park. It's going to include recording studios, supporting technical and amenity spaces. It's going to be designed to complement the surrounding architecture character of the neighborhood. The project will prioritize the pedestrian experience and neighborhood scale. Music recording facilities supporting various sizes of projects are proposed with restaurant spaces and other amenities to support the artist and visitor. Video recording studio will support new technologies for video and virtual reality content creation. There's going to be 2 scoring stages, which will allow up to 125-person orchestra to record film scores in an acoustically exceptional environment. And then there's also going to be a major music education component with about 1,300 students at full capacity is planned for the site as well. As part of the proposed development, Columbine Park will be reinvigorated with an outdoor music venue and community meeting space for city events. Major infrastructure improvements will need to be constructed to meet the requirements of the project, and ample parking will be conveniently located in 2 parking structures on site for staff, artists, and visitors. As far as the job creations with this,
I want to say it's about 38,000 square foot facility, too.
yes.
And if you are familiar, it's really eclectic, really cool area of Berry Hill. Famous pancake place over there, not too far from this.
And burritos.
And that too. Try not to go over there too often. But really, that's a really cool area of Berry Hill for sure.
It's a great area, and just so this structure is meant to compete on a global level with music scoring. So think Abbey Road. So who we compete with here in the state of Tennessee, we compete with Los Angeles now, we compete with Eastern Europe, and we compete with London. So those are the 4 places. It's Nashville, Tennessee, it's London, it's LA, and it's Eastern Europe. They're basically the big hubs for all entertainment scoring being done in the world right now. With the development of this, we will put Nashville on a global level to where we will be able to compete with London primarily, because they're the ones that have Abbey Road, and they're the ones that do the really big scoring. So between our musicians in this facility, we'll be able to bring a good price point. We'll have the great musicians, and we're going to have great infrastructure with this technically built sound stages there. So it sort of brings everything together that we want to see. And again, this sort of goes back to sort of our approach with how do we find really unique infrastructure opportunities to help advance our music industry here in the state.
Sounds good. And do you have the jobs?
I do have the jobs.
Okay.
The project is anticipated to generate a little over 1,000 new jobs and 85.1 million in annual earnings. The CapEx investment in this is at $275 million in capital investment.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add to this one? Sounds like a great project.
No, it's a wonderful project. I don't know if you guys wanted to know the state tax revenue.
Sure.
So it's going to be 4.1 million in state tax revenue annually will be generated from
You
this.
said just state tax credit?
I think that's how I'm assuming that's how our CERT team looks at state tax revenue. I don't know if they I'm sure that's probably include county and everything in with it. So it's 1.4 million in state tax revenue annually, and then 9.9 million in state sales tax collection generated during the construction period of this. So you have an idea of what's coming back.
And do you know when it? You have a question?
Yes, I do. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. That's fine.
My brain is.
You're good.
No, I'm just curious because the numbers are fantastic on the state level, but I am curious about local sales tax and property tax revenue from the location. Usually that's not included, so I don't.
I wonder if it's because it's in Berry Hill, if that makes a difference.
Oh,
It is that's one of the satellite
It
cities.
is in Berry Hill. Interesting.
That's not something we routinely check on the state
I always forget
pass-through.
about Berry Hill.
Yeah, but no, we don't routinely check the.
Because it's a
tax
state
impact because
pass-through
it's a state
grant.
pass-through. It's not
I'm
a
just
metro,
curious
yeah,
more
no.
than anything.
So-
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on the project?
I would love to hear a little bit more about the education component, and also if you could speak to how the community has been, how they've received discussion around this.
So right now, it's my understanding that they're in conversations with Belmont right now. And I can't disclose like the exact, what's going, and the investment going into all of this, but I know Belmont is a primary, collaborator in all of this. Maybe MTSU coming along in this, but we don't know. But we do know that Belmont is sort of the major collaborator
That's great.
right now. So.
I'm always a proponent of our MNPS public schools getting involved in any way, if that's possible. Just plug in that right there.
No, and I think it is, because I think for them, they want to be able to bring in, obviously this is about trying to create workforce around something. And when you have a structure like this, it's easier to create workforce. So I know that they have that interest in trying to do that.
Great.
And we've had, for those that made the ad hoc meeting, we've had conversations. When I say we, I've had conversations with the development team around career pathways and making sure that we're aligned there. So we are having some early conversations around that.
Love to hear it.
Oh,
And then how was the
I'm sorry.
community, how did the community receive?
So the community, so we did a town hall meeting, I think it might have been year before last, when they brought this forward. At least from my perspective, because I was there attending, from my perspective, everybody seemed to be, good with it. They seemed to be encouraged by it. At least for me, from my vantage point, I didn't see any major pushback. I know that the mayor and their head of ECD there has been very supportive of it in trying to make this happen. So I didn't foresee, at least in the public town hall,
Right.
I didn't see anybody get up and get.
That's where you'll hear it too.
I know. I didn't see anybody get angry. I didn't see anybody push back on anything.
Great. Thank you so much.
great question, Board Member Hayes, you have a question?
Yeah, just a general question on grants and other strings tied to the grants. I'm in the housing space, and a lot of the grants that we sometimes utilize have strings tied to employment. So I didn't know if there were additional strings like Section 3 or BABA or Davis-Bacon wages, anything like that is tied to this contract.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So again, this is a state pass-through. These funds are coming from the state. I'll turn it to Metro Legal. So you all received 3 documents in your packet for this company. And again, that's standard. So there's the agreement between us and the company. There's the agreement between the state and the company. And then there's the 3-party accountability agreement between all 3 parties, which is the state, the IDB, and the company. You received all 3 of those in the packet. Metro Legal, I'll turn it over to Joshua Thomas. From a legal perspective, are these documents in order for the board to approve should they so choose?
They are, Chair.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Tennessee ECD state grant for scoring stages at Berry Hill.
Motion.
Grant. All right, we have a motion from Vice Chair.
Second.
All right, second, Board Member Van Rees. Thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. Let the record show that the chair abstained. Thank you. All right, well, still on you. Let's talk about Nove Entertainment, which is out where I grew up, out in Antioch, right off Old Hickory Boulevard. Talk to us about that one. That one's a $2 million incentive deal. So give us the overview on that, please.
So this is, it's Nove is what you see on the contract, but it's called Nove Entertainment. And so
That's right, okay.
So Nove Entertainment is, that is Dolly Parton's management company. So Danny Nozell manages everything Dolly Parton. He is building a multi-use, and it's going to be a purpose-built stages. It's going to be used for feature film production, scripted, non-scripted series, live television media production, music production, content, and music score. Again, it's going to be purpose-built. So there's not a lot of purpose-built studios in our state. It's going to be built soundproof, acoustically treated. It's going to have all of the silent HVAC. You're gonna have the big beams, you're gonna be able to hang all the big lighting and the grids and everything from it. The stage space will be 8,000 square feet, which is to our market. So they're not building a big Hollywood stage. He is building to our current marketplace right now. We're gonna have the height, which will be 36 ceiling, which they need to build up and to hang things. 15,000 square foot production in green rooms will also be a part of it. So it's gonna be a fully purposed stages here.
Yep, just further, Antioch is there's so much going on in that corridor right off I-24 with Century Farms, Tangiers Outlet, and this is obviously just the next exit down. So thank you for sharing. Do we have any questions or comments regarding this project from the board? Sure.
I'm also, similar to your question about NPS, I know, wow, I just lost the name of the school, in Madison. NOC. NOC College of Arts has a lot of programs that might align with this, so I didn't know if there had been any exploration as to pathways to get those students into these potential positions here.
Yeah, I have not talked directly with NAS about any sort of pathway creation. I think for all of us, we're always trying to have those sort of general conversations around, what can we use, what's going on, what's coming in, how do you open this up? And so, those are always general, conversations. But in all honesty, I don't think that we have a really laid out pathway, as we build these things out, because now we're starting to build infrastructure, and as Jamari was saying, he's already having conversations. We now have the opportunity as we get these new infrastructure in, because now we actually have the infrastructure to take this into now. So now is the time to have the conversations with all these
Happy to
people.
make those connections if you guys need it. So.
All right, that sounds good.
I think,
Do you have-
if I may.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're fine.
Two timelines I know are usually whenever in housing you say yes and then 2 years you might get a shovel in the ground. I'm wondering kind of what the timeline is on both of these projects, and also with you being on that southeast corridor, I know that MTSU and Murfreesboro has a vibrant film and studio collaborations as well are available there. So what are the timelines?
So NAS Entertainment, their timeline is they're going to be starting, I think, in 2 months. So they've got about, they're basically putting shovels in the ground. Now. They're going now with it. So it's going to be pretty quick. The scoring stage is looking at, I think, third quarter 2026 is what these contracts don't start till June 1st.
Okay.
So it's going to be somewhere around third, fourth quarter. They're going to start, digging in the dirt.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, thank you, board members, for your questions and comments. And I would say, let me wait to say that. So, I will entertain a motion to approve let me stop right there. Metro Legal, this is Nove Entertainment, am I saying that correctly? It's officially on the agenda. We received the grant documents in the packet as well. Is everything in order from a legal perspective?
It is.
All right. Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Tennessee ECD State Grant for Nove Entertainment LLC. All right, Board Member Wright made a motion. Is there a second? Okay, thank you, Board Member Johnson. So we have properly second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. Let the record show that the chair abstained. Thank you for coming today.
Yes,
If you
thank you.
will, keep us posted if there's any type of groundbreaking celebration. Let us know. Certainly would like to make sure board members know, and if we're not required to attend, but if we can, we'd like to. So please keep us posted on the project.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, get a parking.
Get a parking pass. No, thank you all. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 4, consideration of inducement of revenue bonds for Nashville leased housing. 6 LLLP Dominium Encore on Buena Vista. We've got a Gentlemen, I think we've seen you before, right?
I've been here before once or twice.
And just quick background is, so this is a project that this board initially approved. Some of you were not on the board then, but this was before you, Board Member Van Reese, and you, Board Member Yankee. So we initially approved this in 2024, but just due to timing with THDA and that stuff coming back to get induced again. But there's no material changes to the project, and the inducement resolution was included in the packet to this board that was sent out last week. With that, you do have a new name, though, it sounds like, and I like that, Encore on Buena Vista. I do.
Rolls off the tongue. We got
Was that
Encore.
you? Did you come up with that?
Yeah, me and Austin did actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was your fancy marketing consultant.
Well, they helped. They helped.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself, just for the record, and then I have your presentation up, and if you want to run through it just quickly, just updating the board,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Yeah, nice to see you guys. My name's Rory Hogan. I'm a development associate at Dominium. As Chairman Hodge said, we initially brought this to the IDB at the end of 2024 when we first got this one under contract. Applied in both THDA rounds last year, and unfortunately didn't get funded. So coming back to get re-induced and apply in the next 2 weeks for bonds and tax credits. If I just stand up here.
So
is
you
that-
can see?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
that's
that
fine.
cool? So yeah,
You might be on camera now, too, maybe.
Yeah, so just a little bit of background on Dominium. We've been around for about 55 years at this point, primarily doing affordable housing. And in the last 10 to 15 years, our main focus has been new construction, utilizing tax-exempt bonds and low-income housing tax credits. I believe this would be our fourth partnership with the IDB. So we've done Preserve at Highland Ridge, which was completed in 2021, 900 at Cleveland Park, which was completed in 2024.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then
That's in part of a presentation I have later.
okay, great. And then we actually closed on another one, Evermere on Trinity, in December of last year, so just 2 months ago. So that's broke ground, bunch of
And we approved Liberty Lane.
we approved
inducement for that.
Liberty Lane, which we'll also be applying for here in the next 2 weeks.
In the Rivergate area.
In the Rivergate, yeah, really close to the Rivergate Mall. So really excited for that one. The primary focus is getting this one done because we've had it under contract for about a year and a half now. So yeah, that shows our current footprint. As I said, we've completed 2, another one under construction, and then we have a handful of acquisitions in the Nashville MSA, but that's our overall footprint. If you want to go to the next slide, maybe. Yeah, one thing that we kind of are proud of here at Dominium is we have a scholarship fund that will be available to all of the residents that live at this community and all of our communities. They can get up to $5,000 for any sort of higher education, whether that's 2-year, 4-year college, pilot school, trade school, anything like that. So that's something that will be available to all residents of this community as well. And then that just kind of a background of our company. As I said, we've got I think 20 units in 22 states, and I think we eclipsed the 45,000 unit mark last year. Next slide. Yeah, so for those of you that were on the board for the Evermere on Trinity approval that closed in December, we're just down the street here where Trinity turns into Buena Vista Pike. As I said, Trinity's underway now. That community will be comprised of 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms, so trying to serve larger families. Whereas this one is on a smaller piece of land. It's only about 3.5 acres. And so we'll be doing, similar to the 900 at Cleveland project, a 7-story or 7-story structured parking building that'll have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, so serving some smaller families as well as single individuals.
And 900's less than 3 acres, correct?
Yeah, 900 is only 1.9
Yeah.
acres. Yeah, so this one's super exciting. As you can see, it's right there on the river, and just due to the nature of the 7-story building, we're gonna have a 3rd floor amenity deck that overlooks downtown Nashville, which will be really cool for the residents. So super excited about that. And yeah, this is some elevations and kind of what the community will look like. There's kind of 2 little corridors that you see in the photo on the right will be what overlooks downtown. We'll have a pool, playground, all that good amenity stuff for the residents. The other thing to note with this one is because we applied in round 1 and round 2 last year, we were super far down the process with the city in terms of permitting, and we have our whole capital stack lined up. And so once we do get funded for this one, unlike some other projects that take time to break ground, we're lined up for that really well, so we can start moving dirt and get units on the ground quicker than some other projects.
Sure. And we need the units now, so
we do.
for sure.
This just gives a little bit of a indication of what the rent and income limits will be. So I'm not going to read them all out, but we'll have 244 units. There'll be around 60.
Is it still 60% AMI?
Yeah, 100% at
Okay.
60. The majority of the units will be 2 bedrooms. We've got, I think, 60 1-bedrooms, about 44 3-bedrooms. The rest will be 2 bedrooms. These are the list of community features that we'll have and some examples from our other properties. And then this is the in-unit amenities. We at this point are doing in-unit washer and dryers free of charge for our residents. They'll have balconies, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops. Our mission at Dominium is to be indistinguishable from a market rate community, and this community will be no different than that.
Yep. And obviously I've been to Preserve at Highland Ridge, been to 900 at Cleveland Park. Both those projects look awesome. I mean, several of us were able to attend the grand opening at 900 Cleveland Park a couple of years ago. I've been here a while, so I was able to attend the Preserve at Highland Ridge as well. So
before my time.
Aging myself a bit, but the units really do look really great. So it's not just lip service what you're saying. It's truly 100%. The case.
So our request today is to get re-induced for $48 million and hopefully break ground in the next 6 to 9 months.
All right. So we'll stop there. Thank you. You can take a seat if you like. Before we have our issuers council here. Obviously, the inducement resolution was included in the packet. Before I get there, are there any general questions? And I'll start here to my left. Are there any general questions that you have for the developer?
No, everything's pretty much the same as last time.
No material difference.
Okay.
What else? All right, go here tomorrow. Any questions or comments for the developer?
None.
They're letting you off easy tonight.
Yeah.
Well, let me get going then. We appreciate you being here. So I'll turn it over to our issuers council again. Corbin Carpenter. The inducement resolution was included. There's no material changes from when this was initially approved. From your perspective as our issuers council, is everything in order for the board to approve? Should we so decide to do that?
Yes, sir. Everything's in order.
All right. Any other comments? Anything else to add?
Nothing to add except, as we already said, we're gonna, after assuming approval today, we're gonna hold the temporary hearing here in a week, and then we're gonna submit all the applicable documentation to Tennessee Housing Development Agency and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, it's out of our control.
Well, nope, still in your control. So the developer will come back to the board for.
I mean, with the THD timing, that's
Absolutely.
on THD. Yes,
Absolutely.
And yes, so this is just the first step. So yes, should they be awarded, they will still have to come back for the final.
Yep. Final bond resolution.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
That's a general question. Is there a reason why we separate the TEFRA a week from now as opposed to having it at the same time?
Well, I know some issuers, well, I wouldn't say some issuers, some firms may have their practice, but we don't practice that way. So pursuant to federal law, you're supposed to wait 7 days from the approval when you're induced, actually.
Okay.
So when we issue our final opinions, we actually, we would opine to that, and we would attest and certify that we did that. So our firm, we follow that practice. I know some other people may
Well,
not.
see, this is why we went through the process and the board chose you all several years ago for, make sure we're doing everything, dotting all of our I's and crossing our T's. All right, so again, this is step one, should this board approve. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the inducement of revenue bonds resolution for Nashville Leased Housing 6 LLLP Dominium Encore on Buena Vista.
So moved.
Motion.
All right, so motion by Board Member Yankee. I heard a second by Board Member Rodriguez. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Oh, and let me state for the record, I have an indirect conflict. I could vote, but because it's indirect, but I'm choosing to abstain. So again, let's do that one more time. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried. Please let the record show that the chair abstained. Thank you.
For
I
your
appreciate it.
consideration. We'll be having the groundbreaking for the Evermere on Trinity community here in the next 6 to 8 weeks, so we'd love to have you all there for that.
Okay, yes, let us know and yeah, keep us posted when this one is ready to go
Yeah,
as
we're excited.
well. And then it'll be, I guess, what, like 2028 probably, late 2027 maybe?
Before it's built?
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere.
probably sometime in 2028.
2028. Yeah, I tried to get you to say 2027.
I wish. You want to tell my contractor to
Right.
a little faster?
Right. Well, thank you for that. All right, moving on to item number 6, State of the Industrial Development Board. I always try to do this since it's our annual meeting the last couple of years and just a time to update, reflect on our achievements as a board. So I'll start here. One of the things I really want to focus on today, and this is actually for 2024, I'll go over 2025 another day. It's ready to go, but we'll do that another day. Part of what I really want to do is for our board to understand the impact that we're making, but also to help better tell our story, right? Because what I found in talking with folks is not everybody knows the great work, all the great work that you all are doing, that we're doing. So part of putting this together, and this is a project that kind of came to me probably a little over a year ago, and kind of went to work and asked Jamari for assist. So I want to thank Jamari as well for helping me put this together. But this is really remarkable. We'll send this out to you all. So if there's something you're missing, I'm not going to go into great detail. But this is going to be, as I envision, a great marketing tool for us and something that we can put together each year to highlight all of our projects, and again in one summarized area where it's easy to see. So I'll run through this quickly. If you have any questions or comments, let me know.
Chair, could you make it to where it's showing on the full screen? Should be to your left.
You might want to come over here.
There you go.
There it is. All right, thank you. All right, so table of contents, won't spend much time on that. Introduction. Can you all see this, or is it hard to see?
It'll be easier on the YouTube, but
Oh, okay. And we'll send this out to you also. Message from the chair. I did write that. Now, this picture was not
Love that
mine.
pose. Come on now.
That picture was not. I didn't take that picture. Jamari inserted this picture. I just said okay.
this was from one of the Dominiums.
This is actually
I remember that,
from the Dominium project. Great day. I'm glad I'm not wearing the same thing today. But anyway, so you all can read this. I won't go into all this, but it really just speaks to, this is something I wrote from the heart, just about how appreciative I was for 2024 for a lot of the work that this board did to make a lot of the accomplishment that we accomplished that year, and many of the accomplishments that are still happening now, that groundwork was laid in 2024. So you all can read that. I'll let you speak to that. This is just really speaking to, again, we talked about this earlier today, the fact that this board is doing projects and approving projects all throughout the city. It's not just one area. And that's really important for us to remember, for us to know, but also as we're talking to individuals to make that point, because not everybody knows that. Impact projects. So we'll start off with 900 at Cleveland Park. So this is really phenomenal. So great pictures. This is actually, a lot of these pictures were from the grand opening ceremony in the fall of 2024. And as you can see, we've got some board members on there. I think everybody looks great in the pictures. So you might not have known you were getting snapped, but yeah, that's what this was for. So thank you, and obviously the Dominium team provided a quote as well. But 900 at Cleveland Park, again, why I want to put this in here, obviously it's a huge project. This was our second project with Dominium. But it also fits in with our focus on transit-oriented development, being on a major corridor on Dickerson Pike. Again, I'll talk about that in a second. So really great project. I'll stop here and also say this for Dominium. So you guys, for us, so with the approval that we just had now, we've approved, now obviously they're not all built, but this board has approved something like 1,500 projects for Dominium alone over the last, 5 or 6 years through the project. So I think that deserves a round of applause. That's phenomenal. And when you look at it total for this board, which I'll talk a little bit about this more in a second, when you include all the different housing projects we've done over the last several years, I mean, we're getting close to 2,000 units, which is phenomenal. So kudos to you all. Cumberland Heights, this was a project, and I'll have some more pictures for you all. This is in 2024 when we initially approved the inducement resolution and the final bond resolution for this one. But this recovery housing, so yeah, we're doing a lot with affordable housing, but then we do a project in West Nashville for a recovery center for those dealing with addiction and treatment. And I had the pleasure to go to the grand opening in December of last year. And it's just a phenomenal facility, And what's really remarkable is a lot of the counselors there went through the treatment program, so they're now helping people. So I want this board to understand, you come into these meetings, you are making a huge impact. You're making a huge impact. Don't ever think you're not.
That's something near and dear to my heart, actually.
Sorry,
I wanted
I'll
to
stop
speak
there.
on that,
Sure.
Cumberland Heights. I had a friend who passed away, I hadn't seen in decades, but from addiction in that very area on
Wow.
River Road a few years ago. And thinking about how this can help, prevent that kind of loss
Sure.
in the future is really impactful. So very much want to give some kudos to this one.
Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah, it was really remarkable at the grand opening to hear the stories, because even the CEO went through the treatment program. It was really remarkable talking to people. So again, something that you necessarily wouldn't associate with our board, but this is the kind of work that we're doing. Ernest Patton Transit Center, we talked about North Nashville. Again, some of us, I want to say probably myself and Board Member Johnson were the only people on the board when this was initially approved. But this was the last pilot that has been done in Metro Nashville was for Ernest Patton Transit Center. I saw several of you at the grand opening celebration in 2024, but again, this just speaks to the fact that we're doing projects all over the city. We're doing projects in North Nashville, and I can tell you, and Jamari and I, we've talked about it today early in our meeting, but in our conversations, heard lots of great feedback about the impact that transit center is making in that area. When you think about, and for us, we think about jobs and economic development, but it all goes hand in hand with transportation. All this stuff is hand in hand. So another just phenomenal project that this board did. Then we also have done some of the incentive grants, the $500 job grants. We have to approve those every year. So I was on the board when this was initially approved I'm really aging myself, but I was on the board when this was initially approved in 2017. They'll be coming back before us for their annual approval here this spring. Alliance Bernstein, I was on the board for this one as well, big banking firm from New York that's at 5th and Broad. Really transformed that area as an anchor tenant for that area. They'll also be coming back to us this year for the annual payout, so we have that in here. And then lastly, state grant projects. We just talked about this. According to state law, those pass-through grants have to come before our board. We talked about biopharma and the focus on that as an emerging industry in Metro to focus on. Well, August Bioservices is one of those. So we'll get this out, but again, the purpose of this is for this to be a marketing tool. That's one purpose, as a marketing tool. So we envision this going out to council members. We had a council member, Gamble, was at our ad hoc committee last month, and I've run into several council members, and we're talking about the TIF deals and just various things, and people are like, "Oh, you guys did the pilot for Ernest Patton?" I was like, "Yeah, I was on the board. I voted for it." So this is a cool marketing tool. There's so many. I'm so excited to continue to serve on this board because we've done a lot, but the best is yet to come. And I'll get you all out of here by around 11, so don't worry. Almost done. Maybe 11:10, 10 after 11. But anyway, I'll show you guys 2025, and we'll send this out to you. And then as we move forward, for 2026, putting it together, if there's anything major that you'd like to put in here for this year's report that would go out next year, just kind of be thinking about that. And I'll share the 2025 report at a future meeting. So we've never done anything like this before. So really excited about it. And I think the other big thing for me that's important, when I wanted to join this board 10 and a half years ago, wow. I said, you know what, I don't really know what the Industrial Development Board does, so I came to a meeting because I always like to know what am I getting, what am I joining. And so obviously we always will have new members because of staggered terms, and sometimes people have to resign. So part of this too is a document that can be on our website. So if you're interested in joining the Industrial Development Board, this will give you an idea of what we do, and I think that's also really important as well. All right. Now to the state of IDB, also kind of continuing with that. So this is a quote I believe in, and I'll come back to this shortly. Never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us. Wilma Rudolph, obviously phenomenal. I'll come back to that shortly. So let's talk a little about, I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but I do want to come back to this. If we go back to fall of 2023, and I want to thank Jamari because he's here. I want to thank Metro Legal, and I want to thank our Issuers Council. In fall of 2023, we were going through a transition. We didn't have anyone. We went through a period where there was nobody in the executive director's role. I'm telling you for sure, I did not know what projects were on the horizon in 2024 and 2025. I didn't know. But I knew that if there were projects coming, I wanted us to be prepared. And I had a call with Corbin and Charles and Metro Legal, and I said, hey guys, I want our bond policies updated. I want you guys to take the lead. Obviously, the board can have feedback and it'll be up to them, but I want you guys to get this done. And they said, Chair, when do you want it done? I was like, immediately, like yesterday. And you remember that conversation. And to their credit, and then Jamari came in November, if I remember correctly, got it done. And then our first meeting of 2024, you all voted to approve our new bond policies and procedures. That was huge because a big part of that was updating our fees as well. And we had some discussion. There were some of you in this room that had some concerns about the fees, and rightfully so, because they went up. But this was why I wanted this done. And we benchmarked those fees with other IDBs. And so I can tell you today, you look at where we started year one, with the Rivergate closing that just happened last month, I can tell you all that this board has approximately $300,000 in our bank account. So give yourselves a hand. So again, I didn't know that we were going to get all these bond projects. I didn't know, but we're rolling. And I want to give Dominium credit because when they first started coming to us years ago, our bond fees were different, very different. Our bond fees have changed substantially, and they continue to come to us, and other developers continue to come to us. So really excited about that, and I want to give you all a hand for doing that. So with that, I just have a couple more things. I'm gonna stand up because I'm about to get with it here.
You're good now.
Hold on, let me get your picture for our market.
Y'all are so, y'all are fun. All right, so I'll be brief, and I want you all to think about some of these. So, a couple of things. So for this year, I kind of have 5 as I think about it. And again, this will be up to you all, the board. So I want you to think about this. I want to think about five areas of focus as we go into 2026. One of those is telling our story, and that's part of what that annual report does, because we have a remarkable story, and I don't think a lot of people know about our story. And so that's going to be huge for us, telling our story, and that's going to help market us as well, so that we can get other developers to come to us, so we can do more of these type projects. We talked about North of Nashville earlier, so that's where making sure council members know all the tools that we have will continue. So really excited about that. The other piece of focus is strategic projects. I want you all to be thinking about, there's certainly a lot of what we do, and these are just the facts, a lot of what we do does require council approval. The TIF deals with Rivergate, that also requires council. Pilots also require council. But there's also a lot that we can do on our own with these bonds, with these revenue bonds and generating revenue. So I want you all to kind of be thinking about, as we move forward this year, I'd like for us to put together a strategic projects document. What are the types of projects that we'd like to see? What are the areas we'd like to see? And then we want to work with Metro and Jamari to make that happen. So that's a goal I want us to have for this year. Focus number 3, small business. So when I was on the board, and you've been on here several years ago, we had small business grants that rarely came to our board. Haven't had those recently. There's a lot of reasons for that. Jamari and I have discussed those. But we did do some work in our ad hoc on a small business grant focused on the target industries for Metro. And so we will be doing something with small business this year. That's a focus. Jamar and I have discussed it. There's some opportunities that he's working on to bring to our board, whether that be in the form of a grant, or we've also had discussions on a small business loan as well. That will be a focus this year. Focus number 4, housing. Housing. I don't think there's a meeting that we've had the last several years, whether it be in our ad hoc or our main board meeting, where housing is not discussed. I just told you what we've done. Almost 1,500 units with Dominium alone, over 2,000 units. But there's a lot more to be done. And I do want to address this, because I believe in addressing things just candidly head on. So there was some legislation passed a couple years ago, and Jamari and I have discussed this. There was some legislation passed a couple years ago by the state that allows our board to issue bonds with developers, with Metro serving as essentially the guarantor and backstop on those loans, okay? We haven't done it yet, right? I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, candidly. I don't know. That is not my decision. That's not your decision, not your decision, right? That's a Metro decision. I've expressed to Jamari, I think you all have as well, that this board should Metro choose to take advantage of that, this board wholeheartedly, 100%, will want to support that and have a role in that. We're ready to go. Once it's ready to go, we have our Issuers Council in place, we have Metro Legal, we have ECD that's ready to go. But here's what I challenge you to do today, and it's something I've always learned in sales. Focus on the things that you can control. Let's focus on what we can control. If we excel really well at the things that we control, there's a saying, and it's not attributed to anyone, but it basically states that if you focus on controlling the things that you can control, and you do those things really, really well, the things that you can't do won't even matter, because the things you can will be done so well you won't even think about that. So that's what I want this board to focus on. So here's what I'm challenging you to do. And this is a summary of all of our discussion at ad hoc over the past year. We spent a lot of time talking about housing. We've had several housing guests come talk to us. We've had several council members come speak with us. We've studied peer cities to look at what they're doing. So I'm challenging you, so I'm gonna put this on you. This will be for the board to vote on. We've got over $300,000 right now. What I'm challenging this board, which will be coming to you at a future meeting, I'm not gonna get into all the details, but I'm gonna challenge you to do a grant, and this will be coming to you all soon. This is a grant funded by us, the IDB. We control who the applicants are. We control who gets the award. We've never done anything like this before. We've never done anything like this before. But we can do it now because of what you all did over 2 years ago, updating our bond fees. So by just doing great projects, approving great projects like the Dominium project, we've now got funds to do a housing grant. I challenge us to do that. What I will tell you is that this grant will be focused and aligned with several recommendations in the Unified Housing Strategy, okay? So we've got this one in of the housing units, we need those, but we also need housing preservation. We need all of it. So this will be coming to you all. This will be your decision, but I want to challenge you to think about that. So regardless of what happens with Metro and the issuing bonds to developers, this is something that we can do ourselves based on the revenue we generated. And that's what I'm excited about. So that's number 4. Number 5, and I've said this before, I really want us to focus on this. So our board owns property. There's property in our name now because of pilots, but it's more of a technicality, a legal thing. But what I really want this board to do, and it may not happen while you're on the board, Board Member Johnson, it may not happen while you're on the board. No, I'm not kicking off. It may not happen while you're on the board, Board Member Yankee, but our board has the ability to own and develop property.
Yeah.
We have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously in Nashville, we know, there was a time where that was easy to do, but now because of prices, that's more challenging. But I am going to challenge this board, and I might not be on the board when this happens, but when it comes back to the dream I talked to you about, that's where I want us to go. So with the funds that we're raising, I want us to, by the end of the year, I would like to see this board earmark a portion of the funds that we've raised to a land acquisition fund. And then every year, based on a percentage of what we bring in, based on how much we bring in for bond fees and other projects, that we allocate and earmark a percentage of that to go to that land acquisition fund. Now, again, this is your decision. It's not up to me, this is up to you all. And it may not happen while I'm here. Board Member Van Reese, you might not be here on the board when that happens. But the question I have for you today is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave on the board? If we start that, and 5 or 6 years from now, the IDB is able to buy land and truly control the development, when that happens, I shouldn't say if, when that happens, and you see that, to know that you played a part in starting that, how would that feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Got my eyes open.
So anyway, I'll stop there. I truly appreciate everyone's time, and again, we'll come back to some of these. So I challenge you to be thinking about some of these areas. And if there's anything else that you all want to have done this year and focus on, let's discuss it. But be thinking about that. That's the challenge I have for you today.
Chair, thank you so much.
I'll stop there.
That was
Thank you.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
It's really impressive to think that in 2 years, we've been able to accumulate $300,000. And that it seems like the momentum behind that is gonna continue, right, with what we see coming to the city.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, we have 2 projects with the Dominium now that, if everything goes well with their allocations, that would close this year as well. So that number that I have up there, that also takes into account us doing some sort of housing grant as well with that. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing that.
Maybe it's the entrepreneur in me, but I can't think. 300,000 don't sound like a lot. Like all the things you said, I'm like, wow, housing grant. Ryan Lane.
What I didn't talk about
We need to get some more developments.
we will, but just keep in mind, I didn't talk about the number, so just say the number will be very reasonable
Okay.
put it this way, for what we bring in on a, I mean, this is in the document, so for the closing on this Dominium project, we got application fees, but if when that project closes, for example, that would be approximately $100,000 that we would get. So just know this housing grant would be more than covered by one project closing. So we can have more discussion, but we have the funds to do it.
Okay.
And we have more coming, so really excited about that. All right, I will stop there. So, moving on to item number 7, officer elections. Let me start off first by thanking everyone that served as an officer. I want to thank the vice chair for serving. I want to thank our assistant secretary and treasurer, board member Rodriguez, for serving, especially when we were without a secretary during the transition came through. And I also want to thank our secretary and treasurer, board member Yankee, that's a new board member that's been a great addition to the board. We had board member Davidson in that role, and I'll tell you all because you don't necessarily see it. For any of these closings, Dominium, Rivergate, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be signed, and it's always time sensitive. So I want to thank board member Yankee for her assistance, because several weeks ago we had to sign paperwork for the Rivergate Mall bond closing. And we had to do it a couple of times as things just come up with closing. So I want to thank you for your service on that. All right. So with that, officer elections, we do this every year. Don't have to do this. I will say, if anyone would like to make a motion, if everybody would like to continue to serve in their current roles, if someone would like to make a motion that the current officers continue, you're allowed to make that a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
I
Unless somebody wants to.
Go ahead.
Second.
Go ahead. Start.
I just want to make a motion to keep the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary treasurer as is. And continue those roles, unless somebody else wants to.
There's a motion on the table.
I'd
Go
like.
ahead. Go ahead and speak first.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Let me get to discussion first.
Okay.
So is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. Discussion, go.
I think it's important to take each position separately. And I think that everyone's done a fantastic job, but I think that there's opportunity for continued movement in other directions. I think that warrants a discussion. And so it's already been seconded, and so we've got a problem.
This.
Well,
I want to discuss.
So we can do that. Metro Legal, can we take, there's a motion and a second already on the table. Are we able to, I mean, we've done that historically. Can we do that if somebody, Board Member Wright made a motion to keep the current board in place? We have a second. Should we continue down that path based on the motions?
Yeah, I mean, the motion's currently on the table, so it needs to be disposed of before you get to another matter.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't, if there's a way for me to table that motion and debate it with the person that made it.
So if you wanted to do a motion to table and you got a second and there was a vote for it, then that would table the motion.
I'd like to table the motion for a purpose of discussion.
So what do we do next?
So she made a motion, so someone needs to second the table motion.
Okay.
Vote on the motion to table.
Okay. And then what?
And then at that point, you can have the current discussion or.
I don't have anything to say. I heard her point, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well,
So
hold on, I just want to be clear. So if you're,
We
so
have to
you
vote
currently
on
have
the table.
currently have the motion the motion that's on the table right now is a motion to approve essentially the current slate of officers.
Yes.
Serving the next term. She's now made a motion to table. There needs to be a second, and then you need to
I think
vote.
we have a second.
So you need to vote on that motion.
Okay. This current, the table.
The motion
All
to
right,
table.
all those, so anyone in favor of the table motion, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's, any opposed, say nay.
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 Okay. All right, let's do, did we have 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's tabled,
No, well, how many? 1, 2, 3.
I think.
All right, yeah, so you're 4 in favor, yeah, so.
Okay, so we'll do it individually then?
no, we just,
She just want to have a discussion on
She
it.
just wants to have a
Oh.
discussion.
That was all.
discussion.
Oh, I thought you already said
Yeah,
it.
that's
so-
what I was asking. If we could go ahead and have the discussion before I made the vote, the motion.
So you're
But,
supposed
yeah.
to motion after,
Yeah.
since you already made a motion, she had seconded.
Right,
That's
we
why I
did
went
it
to
kind of
discussion.
fast, so sorry about
Okay,
that.
so I got your point.
Which was the reason for the table. It was too fast. I'm trying to slow it down. This is an important moment. With all respect to everyone and the years of service that you've created on this, I still think that we need to pause and say some of the motivational things that Nigel has presented are very important. To say that we need to be doing what we can do and not focus on what we can't, I think that we can provide influence in regard to the council and the mayor's office agreeing to present opportunities for that bond resolution. I think that we cannot take a second seat in that. The ad hoc committee has done a lot of work to be able to explain the reasons for that. We've seen over and over again the motivation for that, the fees that adjusted to that speak to the pocketbook getting better for other things. I think that there's also vast opportunity that still needs to be explored with additional promises made with the Titan Stadium. When I was on the Metro Council, we created the Nashville Needs Fund. $1 million a year will be going into the Nashville Needs Fund from the Tennessee Titans. There is legislation that needs to be done. Where is that money going to be housed? How is that going to be distributed? Those are all things that maybe also need to be happening with the IDB. I think that there are a number of different things to explore, and I think that one thing that we've learned on the Metro Council over and over again is that term limits are helpful, and that there is an opportunity to be able to say, what is next needs to be informed by our past, and we need to have the institutional knowledge along with that. And so for that reason, in that discussion, I wanted to be able to say, let's look at each position moving forward instead of doing a blanket.
That's fair. So let's, I'm not gonna get into all those points because I hear what you're saying, because some of those things are more IDB items and this is specifically the elections. But I hear what you're saying.
Who leads the IDB is important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to make it just a statement on with the bonds for affordable housing. Yes, we've been working on that for a while.
Long time.
It's very important because I run a nonprofit that does affordable housing. I know a lot of agencies that really would need that bond in place. I think what Board Chair is saying, Nigel is saying that we've done everything at this point we can do. We will continue to push to make it happen, but let's not stop and put all efforts here and drop the ball on things that we actually can get accomplished.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's off the table.
Agree.
Yeah.
So
we're still gonna
Certainly,
move
I
forward.
think we can
Yeah.
push the board, push the council and voice, our enthusiasm and support for bringing this forward. But we are not the council.
Right.
Okay. Quick, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate, I think it's important, all the things that Commissioner Van Rees was mentioning. And there are a lot of things that, again, we could be doing even within or without requiring Metro Council to approve us. And so just acknowledging those and being very intentional with how we structure all of our meetings. And transparent and inviting as many people as possible and sharing on LinkedIn, sharing everywhere, like very, very intentional so that we can do all the things that you mentioned.
Absolutely. I think we're doing great at that, but you can always continue to be transparent. So that's the discussion about the table. I personally don't have an issue going line by line. We've done this in the past. I'm not worried about
You would
that.
have to withdraw.
I can withdraw it. That's not a
The
problem.
tequila is.
The motion on the table has actually taken the original motion off the.
Okay,
so-
okay, good.
Let me make a recommendation from a legal standpoint. If there need to be a conversation or a decision made about the voting process, someone needs to vote whether or not you want to vote by slate or if you want to take.
So we always do nominations by the floor. I think we've already approved that previously. Nominations from the floor.
I mean, if that's the process that you want to do, I mean, if you guys are all informally in agreement with that, you can do that. Or if there is some disagreement among the board members, you can
So,
actually vote what the process would be.
So we did, so here's what we do. Thank you for your point. So here's what we'll do. again, we've done this in the past. If people want to serve, that's fine. So we'll go position by position, nominations from the floor. So we'll go in order. So I'll entertain nominations for chair.
Nominate Hodge.
All
I'd
right,
like to
thank you.
nominate Joshua Haston.
All right, so there are 2 nominations for chair. Do you accept? All right, so there's 2 nominations for chair, Chair Hodge, Board Member Haston. So all those in favor, how do I do it?
So you do, whoever was nominated first, you take the
That was
vote
me.
first.
Okay.
We need to have a discussion.
I mean, you can have a
I
discussion.
like some campaigning going on.
I think we've had discussion, but,
That's fair.
I mean, we just had discussion. So do I need to?
Wait, you're a nominee as well, so if there's a board member that would like discussion, I think that would be.
No, that's fine, but I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. So we have 2 nominations. Is there anything else I need to do?
If there's 2 there's 2 nominations, you need to take the vote based on the order of the nominations being made. But if there is going to be debate on the nominations, you technically have to relinquish the chair. And then someone else needs to basically be, who's not been nominated, needs to basically assume the chair while discussion happens and when the vote occurs.
Do you want discussion, Tequila?
I do. I like it. They
Okay.
said a debate.
I'll
Stand up
assume
if
the
you
chair.
I mean,
I know, I was gonna
I
say-
heard a lot,
Yeah.
and we kind of just skipped over it in my mind. I'm trying to
Exactly right.
figure out, like, what are we actually saying? Because I was about to call you Councilwoman Van Reese. Board Member Van Reese.
Who's serving as acting chair?
I'll serve
The
as
secretary.
secretary.
Okay, sorry.
Ooh, Robert and his rules. Okay.
Who is that
Thank
guy?
you, Robert.
She brought up like term limits, and so I'm like, wait a minute. I hear all the discussion around affordable housing and how we use the tools and how we engage the council and the mayor's office. And so I wanted to know, how many terms have you served as chair?
I'm not sure. I've probably been chair maybe 4 years,
Really?
4 or 5 years, somewhere in there, yeah.
Oh, so you've served 5 terms. Okay, got you.
Maybe 5. This would be my 5th, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is that all you have?
And then I want to know from
Board Member Hayes.
Board Member Hastings. Nigel brought forth a lot of amazing things, right? Some things that I think are worth us really looking into. And I know you operate in a specific capacity as a nonprofit developer, right?
Not nonprofit, but
As a developer, right? And so I'm just wondering, what is your opinion on how we move forward with the things that Chair Hodge brought up?
yeah. At first, I want to say Chair Hodge has done a good job. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus by that. What I would say is that Nashville in general, not just the IDB, has operated largely in a vacuum. In the sense that decisions have been made without understanding how they impact other things. So during the ad hoc committee meeting, for example, we were talking about pathways of job growth and understanding if we have X number of jobs in demand, but not understanding how, if we make this incentive or this policy, how it also affects housing, it's not aligned. And so I would hope that if I were appointed as chair, that I could bring sort of those insights along with that, as well as additional lobbying and pushing on a much greater scale with more intentionality, so that we can do the other things that we haven't been able to do because of metro resolutions, but also expanding the things that we can't do. So like, we can do pilots. Why have we only done one? Since that's a Metro Council eventual decision, but why don't they all know that we can do that? So I guess I would just try to be more intentional in terms of how we lead as a group to be the best that we all can be.
Oh, thank you, Secretary Yankee. I mean, I'll just say this. Listen, I'll be brief. My record in service to this board speaks for itself. We're talking about doing things with council and letting them know more about our projects. Here's the annual report, the marketing tool that we have, the housing bond stuff that we've done. So I'm excited. And again, as a leader, I believe it's my, in any role, it's my job, and I take it very importantly and seriously, is to serve this board and serve the goals that you have. So everything that was discussed today, those are items that we've been discussing. Jamari's presentation today that he did on North Nashville and Jefferson Streets, because I asked him to do that based on the discussions that we have had on this board. So I'm really excited about the future. I hope to continue to serve as the chair. I truly believe I'm the right person to continue to serve as chair. And I'll tell you, the last thing, I'll end it on this note. As the chairperson, you have to be, and it's not speaking against anyone, this is just speaking on me, you have to be reliable. It's one thing you know about me, I'm gonna be at these meetings regardless. I could tell you in my 10 and a half years on the board, I've missed 2 meetings total, and that was probably 9 years ago. So, I think I'll turn over to Secretary Yankee to.
I have one more question. How many meetings have you missed?
I don't know, 1 or 2.
Okay. Sorry, I love a good campaign. It's democracy. Come on, man. Give me a break.
Okay, it's 11:22, so any other questions or items for discussion on this motion? Okay,
It's hard.
so now what do I do?
So now, since Nigel was the first that was nominated, you need to take a vote on who all are in favor of
Okay.
Nigel being selected as chair.
All in favor of Nigel selected as chair. Do I get to vote?
Yes, everyone has a right to
We
vote.
only get one vote?
Technically,
Kind of defeats the purpose if you vote twice.
it does defeat the purpose, but technically you can vote.
All in favor of Nigel Hodges chair, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
So,
All opposed? Okay.
Abstain.
all right, so I'm
I
sorry.
abstain.
Oh, any abstain, any abstention?
All right, so Nigel is now chair. He's been voted chair, correct? Because it was how many voted in favor? I'm sorry.
Well, who vote? Let's just do roll call. Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. All right, so Nigel is now chair. He's been voted as chair.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome. Do I relinquish my chair position
You're
now?
pushing the chair back to.
Okay, there you go. Take the chair back.
No, thank you all for that, and I do appreciate everyone's discussion on that. All right.
I'd like to nominate Josh Haston
I
as
haven't even
vice chair.
started yet.
Just trying to move us on.
After all that discussion,
Yeah.
you're rushing. Okay. All right. I'll entertain nominations for vice chair.
Josh Haston for vice chair.
All right.
Second.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. So all those in favor of vice chair Josh Haston, all those in favor of board member Haston serving as vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, let the record show the chair abstain, please. All right, moving on to Secretary and Treasury, I'll entertain nominations for Secretary Treasurer.
I want to nominate Board Member Yankee for Secretary Treasurer.
Second.
Second, I was looking at her that way. So Board Member Johnson, we have a second. All right, is there anyone else that would like to be nominated for Secretary Treasurer?
Don't look at me.
All right, so all those in favor of Board Member Yankee serving as Secretary and Treasurer, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, motion carried. You're going to continue signing stuff. Thank you for your service. All right, so moving on to Assistant Secretary / Treasurer. We have the current person again is Board Member Rodriguez. I just putting that out there. Do we have any nominations for Assistant Secretary Treasurer?
I nominate Board Member Van Rees.
Wow. Okay. So you let us know you don't want to do it. Okay.
I was about to say.
I'll second it.
Did you get where that was going? I was letting everybody know you're the current person, but
I see how you are.
man, that was smooth right there. I don't know that I called on you, but
I see how you are.
so you nominated
accept.
Board Member Van Rees.
And I'll second it.
Okay, you accept?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any other nominations for Assistant Secretary / Treasurer? All right, all those in favor of Board Member Van Rees say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion carried, let the record show the chair abstain. Okay, all right, well, we have our officers, chair, vice chair, secretary. Assistant Treasury Secretary. So thank you all for serving.
I don't know how this works, but I would like to help with outreach and marketing.
I would too.
That I can do. So I don't know if that's like an ad hoc committee that we need to start where
I'll
information is shared.
have Jamari discuss that.
But I'm good at that.
Okay,
And I can-
outstanding. All right, with this, I want to thank the officers. I want to thank again you for serving previously. Thank you all for serving, continue to serve. Thank you, welcome, Board Member Ben Reeves. Look forward to working with you. With that, and there being no further business, it is here right at 11:26. We do adjourn this annual meeting of the Industrial Development Board. Thank you, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Probably because it was a new type.
Yeah, great meeting you.
Probably why. Okay.
Say, hey, Mr.
Because they gonna hit the sign too.
Okay.
Perfect, yeah.
Sounds good.